Hey everyone, today's lesson is going to be over organs and organ systems. And so our learning objective is we're going to define the major organ systems and list the organs associated with each. This is going to be very important because our next lesson is going to start talking about interactions between organ systems. So you have to know what they are in the first place. One thing I want to mention before we actually get going in these organ systems is that there are going to be 11 of them that you have to know. And I'll say as you're taking your notes, don't waste your time writing down functions and examples of organs and organ systems that you already know. For many of you, you probably understand what the reproductive or digestive system does a little bit more than probably the endocrine or integumentary. So only focus on the ones that you don't know, because there's going to be a lot that we're going through, and there's no need to write down things you already know. So first off, we have the endocrine system. So this system provides a way for cells in the body to communicate by hormones. And it is a slow moving, long response. This is going to be important for you to know about the endocrine system, because this is a main difference between this and the nervous system. So some of the organs that are used in the endocrine system is the thyroid, adrenal glands, ovary, and testes. So anything in your body that can secrete any sort of hormone is going to be a part of the endocrine system, right? So again, endocrine system, it's important to know that it deals with hormones and it's a slow moving and longer response. In comparison, you have the nervous system. So the nervous system is similar to the endocrine, but obviously different. So it signals between the brain and the rest of the body, and it's a much, much faster response. So you have the brain, spinal cord, nerve cells, which we also call neurons. So the brain is really the central organ within that. And then from there, it can signal to the rest of the body what needs to be done. So this is that fast response as compared to the slow, more elongated response that's found in the endocrine system. We then have the excretory system. So this one collects waste products that result from metabolic functions and removes them from the bodies. So when I say metabolic functions, that's really talking about things like cellular respiration and other enzymatic activity that's going on within your body. So the organs that are a part of this are things like your kidneys, urinary bladder, urethra. So this is how you are actually being able to remove these waste products. Your kidneys are filtering the blood and removing those products, and then it builds up in your bladder until eventually it leaves the body through the urethra. Also have the integumentary system. So this is the organ system that simply covers and protects the body. So the main organ that we have is skin. So your skin is what covers and protects everything else. Now, as a part of this, you're also going to get hair and the different layers of the skin, but for the most part, we're focusing upon the integumentary as just the skin and hair and anything that covers and protects your body. The next system that we have is the circulatory system. So this one transports blood to deliver important substances to cell and also removes waste. So you have your heart, veins, arteries, things of that nature. So you can see here in this picture off to the side, you have the heart right in the center, and then there has to be veins and arteries that go to every single part of your body in order to be able to move the nutrients that you need to the cells, but also remove those wastes. So the waste can go back and it will run through the kidneys, where when we talk about the excretory system, can then remove those wastes as well. We also have the respiratory system. So this is used to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide between the blood and the body cells. So things like the mouth, trachea, lungs are what are actually causing this exchange of gases. And now where does this exchange of gases actually come from? Well, when we go back to cellular respiration, we know that we need oxygen in order to perform that process, and then our body gives off carbon dioxide. So we get that oxygen through our respiratory system, breathing in, and then we release carbon dioxide on the way out after it has performed or been created from cellular respiration. Let's have the muscular system. So this is primarily responsible for muscle contraction. And now there's a couple different types of muscles and some that people don't think about nearly as often. So you have smooth muscle, cardiac, and skeletal. When people think about muscles, they normally think about the skeletal muscles. These are the ones that you normally see on someone who you would say is muscular, things like biceps, triceps, abs, things of that nature. And while these are important, these are not the main or only muscles that are in your body. You have cardiac muscle, which is around your heart and enables your heart to continuously beat and pump. And then you also have smooth muscle. So smooth muscle are the involuntary muscles, things such as like your stomach. You don't consciously think about your stomach churning food and crushing it up, nor do you think about your diaphragm, which helps your lungs move up and down. So these are the muscles that you don't actually have to think about. Your body just kind of moves on their own. We also have the skeletal system. So this provides a structural framework for the body and protects the internal organs. It's useful for a number of different things like support, protection, movement, and the formation of blood cells. So things such as bones, cartilage, and ligaments. So obviously we know it's support. It protects all of your major organs that live right within your torso, helps you move, and your bloods are or your bone is actually where red blood cells are created. So you need that bone marrow that's inside there in order to be able to create your red blood cells. Next, we have the reproductive system. So the reproductive system functions in order to create gametes or those sex cells, egg and sperm, and it transports and sustains them. And in women, it can help nurture a developing offspring. So some of the organs that we have in this are the penis, testes, uterus, ovaries, and vagina. So obviously, the male reproductive system is different than the female, as most of you probably already know that. But that is the main function of the reproductive system. We also have the digestive system. So this is useful for ingesting food, breaking it down so the nutrients can be absorbed, and ultimately eliminating what is left over. So you have things like the esophagus, stomach, intestines, pancreas, and obviously there's more than just that, but it is probably one of the systems that you know a little bit more than others. Now, one thing that's different between the digestive system and the excretory collects waste and removes them from metabolic functions. So that is more dealing with a liquid waste in the end. Your digestive system is dealing with that solid waste, and that's what's coming out in the digestive system. And then the last system we're going to look at is the immune system. So the immune system protects the body from outside invaders, including bacteria, viruses, and toxins. So there's a couple different things that are used within the immune system. Some things include the lymph nodes or white blood cells. So these are two major parts of the immune system that help protect you from these invaders that can come in and try to disrupt your cellular processes or just destroy cells in general. So that's all that I have for you today, and go explore further.